what once was easily the most dominant, probably independent conservative media company there was in the Daily Wire, they might still be number one to this day. They have definitely over the last few years fallen from their high ranking of top dog in the conservative field, I guess you would say. They used to have a lot of people on their staff. They're slowly losing all their big names. Jeremy Boering just stepped down, and now it was announced last night. Dailywire president John Lewis steps down amid mounting financial turmoil. Now, there's not much more detail on this as of right now. There have been rumors that they're struggling financially when it comes to all the projects they're doing. They're not bringing as much money anymore. They've lost some big names. I'm going to get into those names. You probably already know who they are. And it's just, I don't know if they're going to recover from this. I don't know if they're going to bounce back, turn around, or if they're going to go under. So before we get into this, make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think of the Daily Wire versus the rest of the conservative sphere. So like I said, president steps down amid mounting financial turmoil. This comes about a week after Jeremy Boering stepped down as co-CEO. And there was a lot of rumors that people had beef with him. Brett Cooper shared this and put this kind of like Jimmy Fallon smiling face, like she was happy about it. So clearly she had some beef with Jeremy Boering. Apparently he was not a good boss. So that's definitely an issue. So I really feel like a lot of these issues with Daily Wire, or I guess being called out, really started when Steven Crowder brought up the contract situation. So for those of you who don't know, I think it's about 2 years ago now. Yeah, so January 2023. Steven Crowder left the Blaze and was looking for, I guess, a new place for his show, Louder with Crowder. He was looking at the Daily Wire, who offered him a $50 million contract over 4 years, which sounds really generous, but there's a lot more strings attached to it, which he brought out himself. When he first called them out, he didn't say the company name. He just said this company and pointed out a lot of issues of contracts. Like if you get demonetized on a certain platform, you have to take a pay cut, even though it's not your fault you got demonetized. All these different stipulations, which basically they control everything your show is. They control it. And I've always thought it seems like the Daily Wire wants to be the only conservative network. They want a monopoly on it, because I know they've made an offer to Tim Pool as well before. Tim Pool said no. So I think this is where they really started to kind of be looked at differently. Brought more down upon for this. And obviously Crowder's doing very well ever since then. He's doing his own independent thing on Rumble. He's got the #1 show in Rumble right now, I believe, since Dan Bongino is now working for the FBI. He's got 1.7 million followers, and he gets about 1 million views each stream. And Rumble, it's coming up, but it's still nowhere close to the audience you can get on YouTube. But they are slowly getting there, and Steven Crowder is now leading the way. So obviously, him not signing that deal with the Daily Wire, probably the best thing he could have done for his career. Another person, one of the biggest names, you could argue these last two who's bigger. I would say Candace Owens is bigger. It was just announced a few days ago, Candace Owens has officially surpassed Ben Shapiro in monthly views since their fallout. Now, they have had a lot of beef, mainly over the Israel-Palestine situation. Ben Shapiro is insanely pro-Israel to any way, shape, or form. And Candace is more, I wouldn't say she's pro-Palestine Gaza, but she's more sympathetic towards the whole situation and isn't afraid to call out stuff Israel does. So she's more unbiased, I guess I would say. But her monthly views, 55 million versus Ben Shapiro's 47 million. That's crazy, since Ben Shapiro literally used to be her boss. And now she's doing way better. And you can even tell on YouTube too. So if you look at their live streams, Candace Owens, 1.5 million, 1.4, 1, 1.2, 1.1. It gets about 1 million views each live stream she does on YouTube. Ben Shapiro, his lives, Um, well, I guess he doesn't really. Does he not live stream on YouTube anymore? When he did 741, I guess he quit. I don't know if he quit YouTube. His videos, if you look at his videos, he still posts them on there. 24K, 25K. Not very good, you know? You look at clips of Candace Owens, like 1 million just from 2 weeks ago. So clearly she's winning on the YouTube battle. And you can even tell if you go on Social Blade, looking at her metrics, like every couple days she's gaining 10K followers. 10K, 10K, 10, like in this 1 week span, it's 50K right there. Like her channel is still skyrocketing. And you got to remember, she had to start this channel pretty much all over because the Dailywire owned her actual podcast channel as, I guess, part of her contract. So when she left, they kept that. So she had to start over from scratch and build up this following again. Obviously, her being a big name is a lot easier than someone like me. I'm new, you know, so it probably wasn't super hard compared to a new person, but still, like rebuilding everything from scratch independently, it takes some time. And if you look at their Rumble streams, so this is Candace Owens, again, had to start over, 310K followers, 260K, 200, 214, 232. So pretty significant, seeing that she has 1 million on YouTube as well. So that's like 1.2 million together roughly each day. And then you have Ben Shapiro, 84K, 53K, 134, 103. So significant, about half. And he has 4 times more followers. And his views are half. That is significant. That is insane. The difference there. That just shows how much more popular Candace was when it comes to Ben Shapiro. And you can even look, because I know some people say, oh, well, they do Apple Podcast, Spotify, whatever. Spotify. These are top podcasts in the everywhere. Like this is in the United States. This is not just top political podcasts. This is top podcast. And Candace Owens is 9th. Out of all of them, you have like Joe Rogan here 3rd, Midas Touch 5th, Theo Von 7th. Candace Owens is 9th. Do you know where Ben Shapiro is? 60th. Way down there. And there's not even another, I don't even think there's another Dailywire person because the only other big one they have right now is Matt Walsh. I don't even think he's in the top 100. Yeah, he's not even in the top 100. That's crazy. Now, if you want to look at just purely news and politics, we can swear by that. She's 3rd behind Midas Touch and Tucker Carlson. You got Charlie Kirk 6th, where the Ben Shapiro's 11th. Ben Shapiro is behind Gavin Newsom. That's crazy. Behind Gavin Newsom, who just started, and nobody really likes him. And then you go down, I think Matt Walsh is like 30th, 29th. And he's like the only other big name Dailywire has, because Michael Knowles and Andrew Klavan definitely don't have the pull that Matt Walsh does or Candace Owens. And then you have their other big name they lost, Brett Cooper, which she's probably bigger with more Gen Z people than like millennials, Gen X. This is a big loss too. So if you look at, she had to start this channel from scratch, just like Candace Owens, because the Dailywire owned her channel. I think they also owned her TikTok. I think they took her TikTok away from her too. Her contract was probably worse since she was a lot newer and younger than Candace was already somewhat well known because I think she worked for PragerU. So she probably got a more favorable contract versus Brett Cooper. But if you look at her videos, look, so 1.4 million subscribers, 500K, 400K, 300, 900, 700. So she's getting some really good views. This is her old channel that her old best friend took over for her. I don't think they're best friends anymore. There's a lot of drama there. So the comment section, everyone knows that. You know, comment section of Brett Cooper. Look at the views. 9.9K, 33K, 22K, 20K. That's embarrassing. If you want to scroll down, see 30K, 28K, this is not like a fluke 1 week. This is every day. And then if you go down to, I don't know how long ago Brett Cooper left. I'm trying to find her last video. So there's one video. This looks like her last video here. 1.5 million. And then right here, 600K, 500K, 500K, 400. Now it's down to like nothing. This is what they did. They thought, the Dailywire thought they could just put anyone in that position and they'd be fine. They don't care about the actual people in these spots. They just care about the channel existing because they think the following is just going to be there. But they don't realize is that the following goes with the person. Candace left, her following left. Brett Cooper left, her following left. Yeah, so this is all bad for him. And then a big thing I didn't even think about till recently. What happened to their Snow White movie starring Brett Cooper? So people are saying it's probably canceled since she's no longer at the Daily Wire. I guess they never finished the filming of it. They came out with a teaser trailer like over a year ago. I was actually really looking forward to this movie because obviously, Snow White, the Disney one, has had a lot of issues, to put it nicely. And what I always thought would be so savage is if the Daily Wire came out with this the exact same weekend as the Disney one, and you could see them compete on who gets more money. I thought that would have been so funny. But it doesn't look like they're even coming out with it now. So that's a lot of money wasted because they probably put millions of dollars into that because they're trying to be like this studio company too with their, was it Bent Key? I think their streaming service is called. And that's not working out either. So my whole point with all this stuff I've kind of dived into, which is the company is just, they're failing at all fronts. And I think a big thing is they are trying to control too much. And that could be a Jeremy Boering thing. Maybe this president had an issue with it. Maybe the new management will be different. But from what we've heard from Crowder, Candace and Brett were both under NDA, so they haven't said much about it. They legally can't. But just from Candace's attitude towards it, you can tell like it seemed very controlling. They want to control what you say, your views. Obviously, Ben Shapiro is very sensitive about Israel-Palestine. And I think when Candace started calling some of that out, that's when issues really started appearing with the Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro brought his kind of personal views into all of it. So I think that was a big breaking point. And obviously Candace, you're not going to control Candace. She's going to say what she wants. Brett's not as like, I don't want to say extreme, but I guess maybe as open as Candace. Candace really isn't afraid to say anything. Crowder isn't afraid to say anything. And it really makes you wonder, because Matt Walsh tries to come off like that. It really makes you wonder if there's certain things he's not allowed to say or just refuses to talk about. Like what topics or views does he have that he's hiding? It could be nothing. Maybe they just didn't like them too. Maybe there's more. Maybe there's, maybe it's not as deep as people like to seem. But from the outside perspective, you lost. So Ben Shapiro is like co-owner, so he doesn't really count. I guess he brings money, so we'll count him. So Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, Candace Owens, Brett Cooper, your four biggest people. You lost two of them, and arguably Brett Cooper's the biggest one with Gen Z, which is the future. So that's a real big mess up there. You're not bringing on any new talent, any big talent. You're trying to replace your people, and it's not working. And the direction you're going in is just, I don't even know. I think they took all this money and they try to branch into all these different things, and they're failing at all these different things to the point where they're losing money. So they're trying to get into the entertainment industry, but their movies aren't really making money. Like Lady Ballers was like a funny parody, but it's not like a money maker. They have like, I think, a kids show. I don't know if anybody has ever, I've never met anybody personally that's watched that or has their kids watch that. And then they were supposed to have the Snow White movie, which is ultimately looks like it's gonna be canceled, which is a lot of waste of money unless they just try throwing Brett Cooper's old best friend back in there again. I guess I wouldn't be surprised. And then act like nothing happened. I think they would lose even more respect if they tried doing that. But it just, I don't know, as a company, it seems like they were kind of on top of everything and they're just slowly declining. Obviously, you have companies getting bigger, like so you have Louder Crowder, you have Tim Pool, you have the bigger conservative groups coming up and obviously taking views from them. But I mean, you as a company, like once you're a big name, you have to mess up hard to lose that following. Like Ben Shapiro's followers his viewership's definitely going down. He used to be a top 5 podcaster all throughout the country. Now he's not nowhere close to that. So obviously, their views or politics, whatever you want to call it, are not lining up with the everyday people anymore. Maybe people just don't feel like they're aligned with them. And I don't know if they can recover from that because it's going to come off now. If they all of a sudden change some of their views, it's going to come off like really fake, if Ben Shapiro starts being like super lenient on Israel Palestine, then they'll be like, okay, why are you all of a sudden lenient? You know, like Ben Shapiro is really hard on the jab, and then 2 years later he's like, oh, I was wrong. Okay, you made people feel like trash for 2 years, and then you admit you're wrong. Yeah, the damage is already done there. But we'll see. Maybe they'll recover. Maybe they'll be fine. I don't know. But if these financial issues are what they're saying right here, I'm sure we'll get more info as time goes on. But mounting financial turmoil, that's not good for the company. That's like, that screams potential bankruptcy to me. We'll see. Maybe Tim Pool will buy the Daily Wire like Ian Carroll thinks. That was a thing going around, which I think Ian Carroll backtracked, said he was wrong on that, but he originally came out and said he heard Tim Pool was going to buy the Daily Wire. I can't imagine doing that. But we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think about the Daily Wire and their whole direction they've been going lately. If you still watch them, if you have any favorite people from there, and what you think about the whole Candace, Brett, Crowder, everything to do with that. Like, comment, subscribe down below, and I'll catch you next time.